Hello everyone. I've got some news that some of you may find interesting. Some of you it may not come as a shock, but I am buying Alibaba stock. And when I say buying, I am putting quite a bit of my stock portfolio into this company. So I'm in a bit of a weird situation right now. Most of my money has gone into buying my house, this house that I'm in right now, and I've got a little bit left over that I've got in stocks. So with that money that I've got in stocks, I'm going to be putting a good portion of it into Alibaba, maybe around 20% of my stock portfolio. So it's a big buy on my behalf. And in this video, what I want to do is tell you why. Because you might think that I'm an absolute idiot. Alibaba, it's got the risks of delisting, it's got the VIE risks, it's got the risks of increased regulation, it's under the Chinese Communist Party. Why would you buy that stock? Are you stupid? Okay, I understand all of these risks, but I'm going to tell you why I'm still buying. Essentially, there's around 5 key reasons. The first thing I want to talk about is these regulations from the Chinese government. These regulations are one reason why the stock has dropped. But if you look at these regulations, they do seem to be somewhat fair. If we look here, it says China's internet companies were told not to conceal negative reviews and only promote positive ones. Operators should not use data and algorithms to collect and analyze competitors' trading information. They also can't take user data and algorithms to influence user choices. And operators can't provide false data, such as the number of clicks on a piece of content. So yes, this will have some effect on Alibaba's business model, but to be honest, it's kind of a fair move from the government. You can't provide false data. I agree, you shouldn't be able to do this. You can't conceal negative reviews and only promote positive ones. I think some of these regulations are actually a fair move from the Chinese government. Don't get me wrong, some of them are not. I'm not a big fan of the Chinese Communist Party, but some of these moves, like not allowing businesses to conceal negative reviews, I think they are fair. The next thing I want to look at is the price, because the price is the main reason why I'm buying. One of the 2 key reasons why I'm buying. It's just selling for such a cheap price right now if you look at it from a long-term basis. Keyword long-term basis. So the price right now is sitting at around that $157 mark. That's down over 50% from what it was selling less than a year ago. And by the way, guys, less than a year ago, it still had the same risks. The risk of government crackdown, the risk of regulation, the VIE risk, the risk of delisting. But it's just that it's in the news right now, and that's why everyone's talking about it. And that's why we've seen this big spiral down in price. Now, I don't know if you've seen any of my previous videos, but I did my normal discount cash flow calculation to get the intrinsic value of the stock. And I can just say this, I'm happy with the price of Alibaba relative to its intrinsic value. Again, the key here is when looking at it from a long-term basis point. I don't know what's going to happen over the short term. I don't think many people do. Another thing that I want to talk about is something that Monish Pabrai has gone over before, and that is that China will not kill the golden goose, this concept. Alibaba is kind of like the golden child when it comes to China. It's like, you know, when you got those parents of that one kid, the one kid who keeps winning all of those school prizes. China, they don't want to destroy their golden child of a business. You know, the business that's done so much for China as a whole. It's helped bring them into the 21st century. It's helped them trade worldwide. They're doing a lot for cloud computing right now. What they've done, the Chinese government, they've just given Alibaba a big slap on the wrist with that massive fine that they've given them. But I don't think they want to completely destroy their business model. The incentive of the Chinese government is to keep Alibaba growing. Because at the end of the day, Alibaba is a great business. The cash flow that they generate is insane. It's around $12 per share compared to a price of $160. For anyone that's been studying stocks, different stocks in today's market, that is really good. You know, their business, they allow trade throughout China. They own Lazada, which facilitates e-commerce throughout Asia. They have AliExpress, which allows worldwide trade. They're making huge steps in cloud computing. This is a good business that any stockholder would be happy to have because they've got that strong base of e-commerce and then they're diversifying in cloud computing and other sectors in business. And it's for some of these reasons why you're seeing these super investors buying it up. The likes of Pabrai, the likes of Munger, the likes of Guy Spear, the likes of Ray Dalio. And this is always a good sign when you have investors that you know and trust. Yes, I trust these investors, and they're making big purchases in Alibaba stock. It's just one of those green lights that I like to look for before buying. So the fact that you've got these investors with their heads screwed on right, that they're buying up big into Alibaba stock, I like it. And yes, I know Alibaba has its risks. I don't want you to come away from this video thinking Alibaba is all sunshine and roses. It does have the risks of delisting, but then it just trades over the counter, so it doesn't seem too bad for me. And secondly, I also don't believe it's going to get delisted. If you take a look at the requirements that it takes to get delisted, I'd say it's unlikely. Then you've also got the VIE structure, variable interest entity structure. But this structure has been going on for 20 odd years. The Chinese government, they haven't even seemed to blink an eyelid at doing anything related to the structure. So anyway, I personally am happy with purchasing the stock because investing, and I've said it before, I'll say it again, it's all about risk and reward. Okay, Baba has its fair share of risks, we can all see it. But I do think some of them are overstated, and the potential reward on the other side of that risk is what brings me into buying Alibaba stock and putting a fair share of my stock portfolio into Alibaba. Let me know what you think of Alibaba in the comments below. I always say that at the end of the video. I need to think of something else to say at the end, but see you there.